I think that what Mahomes is doing is insane. And it is true greatness. And I don't have an issue with somebody saying that he's the greatest quarterback of all time. I know Tom played forever, and you kind of get into that thing. It's almost like the reverse LeBron argument, but it's even more perverse because he played longer like LeBron did, but he has more titles at the moment like Jordan did.
Right.
So and that's why when Brady got that title, it literally felt like he was going to be untouchable.
Yeah.
But it's not that way. Like, if you believe your eyes and you watch these games and you watch what this guy does in clutch situations, you can't feel any other way than to say there's nobody who's definitively better than this guy who's ever done this.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
One of the biggest storylines is Mahomes' greatness, and at what point will he, be legitimately in the argument? When will you feel comfortable saying, like, hey, this is something now?
It's funny because when the Bucs played the Chiefs and Tom Brady won that game, I talked not only on this show, I actually went on another radio show, and I was talking about that Tom winning that game, and this is before the game. I was if Tom were to win, it really, like, to me, almost like puts the nail in the coffin of ever catching him. Because no matter what he does, it'll always be 40-plus-year-old Tom Brady on a new team beat you when you're 24 or whatever. And I thought, at that moment, I believe what I was saying. But in hindsight, I don't, I think it is essentially a debate. I think that what Mahomes is doing is insane. And it is true greatness. And I don't have an issue with somebody saying that he's the greatest quarterback of all time. I know Tom played forever, and you kind of get into that thing. It's almost like the reverse LeBron argument, but it's even more perverse because he played longer like LeBron did, but he has more titles at the moment like Jordan did.
Right.
So and that's why when Brady got that title, it literally felt like he was going to be untouchable.
Yeah.
But it's not that way. Like, if you believe your eyes and you watch these games and you watch what this guy does in clutch situations, you can't feel any other way than to say there's nobody who's definitively better than this guy who's ever done this.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Yeah. That's just always been my take on it. Is Mahomes is has since day one, he's been the perfect blend of, damn, when I'm watching him, he looks like the best, and then you also have the accolades to back it up.
Yeah.
And the thing about Brady is just, for whatever the large chunk of the beginning of his career, that wasn't the case. And I understand, 6th-round pick, you got to ramp it up, and he has to learn, and this and that, and then he was carried by defenses and all of that. But it just kind of is what it is, right? And yeah, he still won, but like I said, he has 7 Super Bowls, but he doesn't have 7 Super Bowl MVPs. And people are saying that impacts whether they think Jalen Hurts is going to be recognized. If the Philadelphia Eagles win, but Saquon Barkley is the Super Bowl MVP, they're not going to. They're saying, and a lot of people in the media, and I believe you said it last week as well, that's not going to elevate Jalen Hurts for them.
Yeah.
So that matters. That means something. And Mahomes has been the best player. As won Super Bowl MVP. Now that can't change down the road, but not only that part, right? That's just being the best player and having the accolades. But then, if he does win, and all of this is if, then you have the three-peat. But that's just this year. If he three-peats, which is fucking colossal, because nobody has done it. But how far can they push this out?
Right. How long?
You went 4 in a row, 5. That's shit. So it's like, okay. This year is very important because in order for it to be universally recognized, it's one thing, I'm a Chiefs fan, so like who gives a damn what I think who's the best quarterback? I'm going to say Mahomes. So you disregard my point, but to be universally recognized, the three-peat is very important. Okay, as far as being universally recognized as better than Tom Brady, it's colossal. All right. Then after that, what else can you do in your career to be the first to ever do it? Like I said, if you can win 4 in a row, now you're fucking doing something out of this world.
Yeah.
Okay, then you'll probably be universally recognized at that point for sure. Okay, what kind of records? Because what I believe is if they win this game, I think they revert back and go pure offense. I really do. I think they're gonna if they win this game, I think they make a push for Cooper Kupp, or or trade for Tyreek again. I honestly think one of those two things happens if they win this game.
Yeah.
And then I think they go reverse back to offense heavy and allow Mahomes to just throw it all over the yard, things like that.
Well, I was gonna say Tom Brady's career is interesting to look at. So like early in his career, I think he won like 3 out of 4 titles over a 4-year window.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, like he wasn't statistically dominant, and it seemed to be the benefit of like balanced Patriots teams and great Bill Belichick coaching. When they added Randy Moss and they had that team, that I know they ultimately lost the Super Bowl, but he put up, I believe, like a 50 touchdown season.
Mm-hmm.
And he was throwing deep balls all over the place. And the narrative up until that season, it always felt like he was a little bit more of like a winning game manager guy than that guy. And when he had those seasons with Moss, it just felt like, shit, he's that guy.
Yeah.
And that kind of changed it. But team-wise, they did have a bit of a dry spell for titles. And then they kind of got back to it later in the years. Even when they lost to Philly in the Super Bowl, like Tom threw it around. Like I think he had maybe 400 yards.
Yeah.
And so like you're still looking at like this fucking guy. Along the way though, there were disappointing playoff losses. There were some poor performances. But by the end of this, he had accumulated like the Moss years, statistical single season stuff, and the spectacular offense. He'd accumulated the 7 titles, and by playing as long as he did, he got to top of all of the other shit like career touchdowns, career yards, all those other titles. Now Mahomes has given us this, like literally every time I'm a starter, the worst case scenario is we make the conference final, and I'm winning several Super Bowls. I can get this three-peat. And then it's gonna just kind of, I mean, again, you could probably make the argument he's the best guy, or nobody's. To me, I'm more comfortable saying nobody's ever been better than this guy.
Yeah.
And then maybe at some point, if the stats and the titles get comparable to Tom, then it's just like, well, there's nothing anybody can say.
Yeah.
You're just done. You don't have an argument anymore.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where Tom Brady put us by the end of his career.
No, seriously.
There just really was nothing to hang your hat on in favor of another guy.
Yeah.
And Mahomes has that potential. Mm-hmm. But again, like what we see just like week to week, the way this guy just conjures up victories is just extraordinary.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I had one stat that I thought was interesting as far as a career comparison. I saw this. Now, they both have, seasons without a top 8 scoring defense. So, the top 8 defense in the league ranking. Okay, Tom Brady is 68-28 regular season. Okay,
without a strong defense.
Without a strong defense,
okay.
Essentially, Mahomes is 40-8.
Okay,
that's a 70% versus 83% for Mahomes.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, without a strong defense, Tom Brady is 6-5 record, 1 Super Bowl appearance, never won the Super Bowl without a strong defense. Mahomes is 6-2 with 2 Super Bowl appearances and 1 Super Bowl win. Because what a lot of people, remember is that, outside of the Randy Moss year, which they did end up losing, Tom Brady didn't have a lot of, elite pass catchers outside of Rob Gronkowski and I guess Hernandez for what it was worth. And then as far as elite, of course he had, Wes Welker, even though I think he's going to go to the Hall of Fame, and guys like that.
Edelman. And,
But the top, whatever. They're saying that he didn't have a lot of talent. But the talent was defensively. I mean, just a fuck ton of Hall of Famers that were on those defenses over the course of years. And then, of course, you have probably the best defensive coach of all time. Like that, that matters. And then, not only that, like I said, some of those guys won the Super Bowl MVPs. Like, they were that dominant. Like, how many defensive guys do you know are winning Super Bowl MVP? I know Wes Welker got the one. And then you had Deion Branch. You had the white linebacker. I just find it funny that I'm saying white linebacker because
Vrabel? Or no? Teddy Bruschi?
It was either Vrabel or Bruschi. Okay. And I'm not necessarily saying Super Bowl MVP. I'm just naming important guys from that defense and things of that nature. Now, that's just an interesting stat that I thought was interesting. But, the three-peat, in my opinion, is vital to him having a strong universal case to be the GOAT, to be the GOAT quarterback. Do you agree with that at least?
Oh yeah, no, the three-peat is an amazing accomplishment. I mean, again, literally, we're Super Bowl 59 or 60, and nobody's ever done it. Yeah. That speaks volumes. Just volumes. I mean, I don't. It's tough to quantify, like, just what he does. I mean, it's just like his impact on a game it's just omnipotent. It just is.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch these games, as long as they keep it close, you just feel like he's going to find a way, and he does, and the stats back it up. That, like, and there's so many, because you did this probably last year. You went through a kind of a laundry list of these crazy stats, like I think like no losing record against any divisional opponent, or whatever in his entire career. Just so many little things that are just insane.
Yeah.
When you compare him to other people, and there's nothing like it. I mean, you need to enjoy watching this. And again, don't make this Jordan and LeBron. Don't make this where we're arguing about the success of Pat Mahomes' kids versus Tom Brady's kids.
No.
10 years from now. It's just like, enjoy what it is. Tom's career is over. It was amazing. It was phenomenal. If you hated him, whatever. If you liked him, it was great. But we are in the Pat Mahomes moment. And just all the stuff too. Like when he's winning like this, like all the really good players that aren't getting to a Super Bowl aren't winning a Super Bowl because he's there.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
It is really crazy. That's probably the craziest part to me, because like, when does it end? Because like you said, the New England Patriots, Tom Brady, New England Patriots, they went 9 seasons over the span of 10 years without winning the Super Bowl. And I mean, like, at this point, I can't see that happening with Kansas City. But in any event, we know they're not going to win it every single year. I mean, that's just that's just that's out of the realm of a possibility, in my opinion. So, but still at this point, I don't know when they slow down. I can't imagine them slowing down for like multiple years.
And the main reason you're saying that, and it's not insane to say, is because of him.
No, yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's the thing. That's how good this guy is.
For sure.
And
because we've seen them with a high-powered offense, and we've seen him win a Super Bowl with receivers leading the league in drops. Like normally that's an excuse for a team that doesn't make the playoffs, and you're trying to say, well, you're trying to big up the quarterback and trying to solidify confidence in him. Solidify confidence in him. Hey, he's good. His receivers, they led the league in drops. What do you want him to do? Yeah. And meanwhile, Mahomes' receivers lead the league in drops, and he's winning the Super Bowl. Like, that's nuts. How do you even pull that off? You know what I mean?
But that also just goes to like the mental side of the game.
Yeah.
And it's just like his belief. And I remember it was this off season, somebody was saying that they were interviewing, or they were in the room while people were asking Pat questions in the middle of last year when dudes were dropping everything, and they kept setting him up to throw shit on the
under the
receivers,
bus.
and he never took the bait once. And the guy who was telling the story is like, yeah, I felt like they're probably gonna win again because you can't break this man.